Welcome to the Jab Step with Jabari Davis from 19 Media Group, where the conversation will center around hoops and Hollywood and everything in between. I'll be talking to fellow movie, TV, and NBA fanatics about what makes them super fans of each, with a few surprises along the way. As always, we're brought to you by the mighty 19 Media Group. Make sure you go to 19mediagroup.com for our full lineup of sports, culture, and lifestyle podcasts and shows. All right, with us today, we have the host of SportsMap Radio's In My Opinion with Denton Day, which airs Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern, I believe, Denton Day. We have the host of the Lakerside Chats and the co-host of the Blipped In podcast, both for 19 Media Group, Alen Ramic. And we also have the founder of Creative Eye Multimedia, as well as the host of both the Late Night Lake Show and Now a Word from Our Sponsors podcast, also both for 19 Media Group, Mr. Ricky Barnes, here with us today. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on what is going to be the premiere episode of the Jab Step.
Happy to be here, bro. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely.
Same here.
Oh, absolutely. I mentioned this in the intro, but this show is going to be a bit of a departure from today's current basketball conversation, which, if we're being straightforward and being completely honest, it tends to be a bit reductive and ranges somewhere from cynical to, downright negative about every player and every team in a league that we all claim that we love. None of that's going to take place today. We might talk a little bit of shit here and there, but we're going to truly try to celebrate both the NBA and Hollywood. So let's go ahead and circle the room and find out why we all fell in love with the NBA. So, family, let's let our guests start off today. So, Denton, who are some of the players, teams, and/or even the moments that made you fall in love with the NBA?
Oh man, the one that really got me. So I'm a little bit on the younger side. I'm from the DC area, and I grew up right around the time that Gilbert Arenas made his transition over here to the Wizards. And man, he caught this city by storm. I know like a lot of people don't like Gilbert now because of some of the stuff that happened on his way out. But I'm telling you, every kid in the school loved Gilbert Arenas. The Agent Zero, the yelling hibachi when he shoot like a layup. Just ridiculous things that you're seeing in rec basketball. Seeing that era really, because you had Allen Iverson, Kobe, LeBron was getting started, Shaq was still dominate. And then to have a team in Washington that was relevant, oh my God. And the gold jerseys were a thing back then too, which it's a disgrace that they haven't brought those bad boys back. But I love that Big Three era, and just the middle of the 2000s, that era of basketball is really what got me to fall in love with the game.
I'm glad that you pointed out that era specifically, because it's funny because a lot of the smartsy accounts on NBA Twitter, they like to crap upon the aughts or even the 90s and say like, oh, complain about the efficiency or complain about the pace of play. But I'm here to tell you right now, I watched those games and I watched the 90s games, and there was still some great basketball being played. And to your point, if you love scoring, if you like scorers in particular, that when the early odds were absolutely your era. So I'm here for that. I'm here.
Oh yeah, and like guys like Steve Nash in there too, and Chris Paul in his younger days. It doesn't get better than that.
So here, before we move on, you mentioned that you're a little bit younger. I won't ask your age. If you want to share it, you can. What were your thoughts around when the locker room situation was taking place? I was going to try to frame it some other way when the locker room situation took place. Well, what were the general fan thoughts at that time?
My first thought was blame everybody but Gilbert. It wasn't Gilbert's fault. It was somebody else, and it was anybody but Gilbert's fault. And then he did the dance, and you were just like, oh no. Oh no, because I was at the time like Twitter wasn't a thing, social media wasn't a thing, so I'm like getting up and reading the paper, which I was like 12. I shouldn't be reading the paper at 12, but I'm getting up and reading the damn paper to see all this stuff. I still love Gilbert. I've kind of let it go, but there were some people that were hot. There were some people that were really, really hot, and they had a right to be. I was just too young and dumb to know better.
So, full disclosure, I've told parts of this on other shows, but I'll say it now since this is the premiere of the Jab Step. I grew up with Gilbert. The traveling team that I played on, he was on the younger version of it, but we all practiced together. Gilbert is a character. He always has been and always will be. The person that you see on his social media right now, that's Gil, and it just always is going to be. I'm not absolving him of any responsibilities for anything negative that he's done in the past, but I'm going to be honest with you. I love Gil as well. So I'm right there with you. All right, Alen, we're going to go across the pond for this one. Who were some of the players or the specific era that you fell in love with the NBA about?
So the NBA is one very simple play, right? I'll take you back. I'll set the scene. 2000, Western Conference Finals,
Ooh,
and a
okay.
certain Kobe Bean Bryant throws a lob to a certain Shaquille O'Neal. That's the first play I vividly remember as a young kid. Yeah, like, and it was at that point it was over. I was in love with the Lakers, and yeah, it's 21 years later, and this 24-year-old is now even more in love with the Lakers. It's wild, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to go there in a second, but you also on Twitter when I asked this question, and anybody that shout out to anybody that follows, at the Jab Step Pod. Make sure you follow these gentlemen. We'll get to that later on, but definitely appreciate it. But you mentioned two other guys, and I was hoping that you went there.
Oh, I separate the two because
That's okay.
NBA heads will attack me. The two players that made me fall in love with basketball properly were Vlade Divac and Dražan Petrovic, or as Americans say, Drazen Petrovic, which gets on my nerves so bad. Like, just go on Google, guys. It's really easy. Those two played basketball in the 80s, the Yugoslavian basketball national team in particular, that included Toni Kukoc, Dino Radja, Žarko Paspalj, all NBA guys. That is now 2021 basketball. Small ball, move the ball really quickly. Your five does everything that a one can do. Your five initiates the offense because Divac was the initiator. And then Petrovic shoots from like 45 feet away and is like shooting at like 47%, just like Steph Curry is now. It's great. And that's what made me fall in love with the game properly. But if we're talking just the NBA, then it was Kobe, Shaq, and the Lakers.
That is fair. That is fair. And I appreciate that. The funniest thing when it comes to like European players, and you're exactly right. We have absolutely adopted that, that style of play, kind of top to bottom. But the funniest thing is like, I'm the oldest person on this panel, obviously. But back in the day, I don't know if you guys, were aware. Folks used to just trash European players, just trash them. So every big man was weak or soft or whatever. Any negative, ridiculous, adjective you come up with. Not understanding, it's like, oh no, just wait, give it about 25 years, and we'll all be there. So I'm appreciative of where we are, from the NBA's perspective as a result of European influence. The one thing that I'm going to quickly say is that Western Conference Finals game. I won't tell the full story, but I was supposed to go to that game. At that time, I was coaching. I was fortunate. I was coaching traveling teams and all-star team. And on the team was Ice Cube's kid. And I befriend, he was very kind to me back then. I know, people in 2020 and 2021 have differing opinions on Ice Cube. But here's the deal, man. As a 19, 20-year-old at the time, going nuts and, keep in mind, I was a huge Ice Cube fan all growing up. This was heaven. So I was supposed to go to that game. Didn't it, through circumstances, didn't end up being able to make that game, but I ended up going to game 2 of those finals, Alen Rose, stick your foot out game. Fun times. Coming to you, Rick. Who are some of the players, eras, or teams that made you fall in love with the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's watching the show, I think it's pretty obvious who the player was. The crib's kind of decorated out in it.
You don't say.
Yeah, no, I mean, before I get to obviously Kobe, the first memory, and it's funny, Alen, you kind of having you walk through your first memories of it. The first real memory that I had of the NBA, besides the Michael Jordan mystique, I'm a early 90s baby, but by the time I really started caring and knowing what was going on in basketball, the Jordan era Bulls was starting to get to their 5th and 6th championship. But the first thing that I really remember is watching a Lakers Sunday game. And this might even still be at oh, y'all are gonna kill me. What was the
Forum? Great Western Forum. I got you.
See, that's how you know I'm younger, bro. Like
I'm
Staples is the house that Kobe
that.
break. So
it was a Fabulous Forum, then it was a Great Western Forum. I got you, dog. Don't worry.
See, there we go. So the Great Western Forum, which that's what they shut down in Space Jam, right? It was that stadium, correct? With the anything. Okay, yeah. So anyways, that's how young I am. That's how I remember the Western Forum. But watching Shaq at the free throw line, it's like, all right, how does this make you fall in love with the NBA? But to no surprise, he jags the free throw. But because he knew he was going to jag the free throw, he jumped to get the rebound beforehand and just did a putback dunk. And I thought that was the coldest shit in the world. Like, I thought, watching this human being not only like make a mistake, but make up for it in the most dominating fashion. I was like, I'm subscribing to that content. So Shaq got me through the door. And I mean, it's not too hard to imagine how Kobe carried me the rest of the way there. It was a little fork in the road when they had their little beef. I didn't know which way I was going to go for a minute, but I was like, Kobe's staying with the Lakers. I'm staying with the Lakers. So watching him go through those years, being in junior high where when he dropped 81, it's funny you brought up the newspaper. It's the back of the Chicago Sun-Times was Kobe Bryant pointing up to the ceiling at Staples Center. And I thought that was the craziest thing in the world because this is a LA basketball team, a player that does not play in Chicago, get the entire back page of the Sun-Times. And I was like, yep, that's that dude, that team, this my sport.
Listen, so I think I just aged a year. Like I got older because you said that you were in high school when that game was played. Because I was drunk in Vegas at a sports book watching that game.
Wait, Kobe's 81?
Yeah. When you were
I was in junior high. I was in junior
me.
high. Yeah. I was even younger than that. Was even in high school.
Anyway,
to make you feel older.
It was a great experience. I don't care that you're a 2000s baby.
I'm not a 2000. Jabari,
no,
okay,
I'm talking about Alen. I'm talking about Alen because he was like, "You want me to make you feel older?" Right. I know what he was coming with. I already know what he was coming with.
I was 9.
Born after the year I graduated high school, so we could just stop
crying.
Jesus. All right. So when it comes to the NBA, honestly, I really do appreciate each of you sharing those. Like that again. That's what the show is going to be about. When it comes to the NBA, me again a little bit older. I watched Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Big Game James Worthy, Byron Scott, Michael Cooper, and the Showtime Lakers battle the Celtics and the Pistons as a child. As a teenager, you couldn't tell me that I wasn't Nick Van Exel. You couldn't tell me that my little lefty drop shot, my little lefty floater. You couldn't tell me that wasn't Nick to quit. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Eddie Jones is always going to be the biggest what if because, to be honest with you, if we've been playing positionless basketball back then, he probably would have gone on that ride and they wouldn't have had Glenn Rice for that first round or whatever the case. Whatever the case. No disrespect, but all the disrespect to Glenn Rice because Eddie Jones should have gotten rid. I was in the building many, many nights, and I was fortunate. I was in the building many, many nights with Kobe and Shaq as they developed in the championship, and then obviously like after the fact. Somehow I wound up being fortunate enough to end up covering the league during the end, during the Kobe's career, working for USA Today, Basketball Insiders, and other outlets. To say that I was born for this shit is an understatement. I was born to love the NBA, and that's why we're here. So again, I do appreciate each of you, sharing those because that's why I love doing this. Folks, why take a chance investing in stocks when you can double your money instantly with MyBookie? You can't predict when a hunch will pay off, but you can use our promo code 19MG at MyBookie, and I'll guarantee you'll double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. The best part is MyBookie accepts everything from credit card to well-known cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, so you can bet and withdraw with crypto if you want to. Listen, this Saturday the UFC is closing out 2021 with a bang, with 2 world title fights going down at UFC 269. Headlined by lightweight championship fight between Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier. This fight amounts to a coin flip, but both men have finish rates of over 75%, so you know this isn't going to the scorecards. Don't miss out. Double your first deposit up to $1,000 by using promo code 19MG. Head to MyBookie today, place your bets, and watch the sparks fly at UFC 269. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Yeah. We're gonna actually shift it to Hollywood now because again, the Jab Step is going to be about hoops in Hollywood. A little bit of pre-production was done here, so I appreciate you guys bearing with me. We're gonna just quickly circle the room. Denton, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
For the sake of chaos, and I'll take the smoke here because I got to be honest with you guys. I don't think I've ever actually watched Die Hard start to finish a full time. But for the sake of the chaos, I say Die Hard's a Christmas movie. I'm an agent of the chaos, so give me the smoke.
I'm here for that energy. By the way, you're not the only person on this panel that has never seen the movie, and I'm actually still disappointed in the other person.
Because I went. The other person, Ricky.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hey,
Ricky,
man.
Ricky,
I've
we don't
heard
have to get your answer because I've already busted you out.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. Right? I don't know when Die Hard would pop up on my family's TV set, so I'm gonna say no. It's not a Christmas movie, just for the simple fact I never saw it during Christmas. It didn't organically pop up on my screen during Christmas, so no, it's not a Christmas movie, and I have no frame of reference other than what I just said.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but the situation in your house lacking does not mean that we all have to suffer. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all.
Right. What year did Die Hard come out, bro? Like, what year did it come out?
It was 88. It was 88. It was a long
Okay.
time ago.
Geez.
All right.
Yes.
I watched Big Trouble in Little China. I watched Twister.
Wait, if you've seen that,
To be fair to Ricky,
you saw Big Trouble in Little China, which, hey, shout out Richard Burke. That's my dude. I love the movie, but you've seen that, but you haven't seen Die Hard. That's
Absolutely, bro. I've seen
All
Weird
right.
Science. I've seen all the 80s
okay.
hits except for Die Hard, apparently. So, I'm kind of
Okay.
interested to even know what it's about.
Look. It's. Go ahead, Ellen.
to be fair to Ricky, he had you mentioned blipped in MCU. He hadn't watched Thor Ragnarok till like 2 weeks ago,
No,
and that was
I
because
haven't
me
seen
and me and Kwame forced him into watching it.
And your
Great
life is
movie,
better
by the
because
way.
of
Wish
it.
I would have saw it earlier, but
Oh, it's so great. So great.
So, all right. Haven't seen them.
You haven't seen it either?
None of them.
None of them.
I saw Infinity War and I saw like some of the the multicast ones, but I haven't seen the Thors. I'll admit I don't have kids and I wasn't going to the movies a lot at that time. But I know that I'm missing out. I listen to Alan's podcast and I recognize, oh damn, I probably need to get up. Probably need to.
You got
Yeah,
it.
if you ever need to be convinced if you need to watch a MCU movie, just listen to Blipped In. They'll get you there.
Yeah.
Exactly. Get you exactly where you need to be. Alan, is it? You've kind of already answered, but is it a Christmas movie?
When's it set? During Christmas. It's a Christmas movie.
There we go.
Is that really the biggest debate in all this? Like, it's set during Christmas, but it has nothing to do with Christmas, so that's why it's a debate.
Time out. I will rant you into submission. I'll explain it to you. It's definitely a Christmas movie. I'm sick of folks, honestly, literally gatekeeping everything. Honestly, we're all guilty of it a little bit at times, but honestly, folks are mostly full of shit when it comes to placing their own set of rules and restrictions on things. And here's the part. It takes place at Christmas. Not only at Christmas, it's at a Christmas party. We get Christmas jingles and references throughout the entire movie. And just because it does, it's not some wholesome, let's go get some milk and cookies for the fat guy. Just because it's not that bullshit, folks want to throw shade. But I'm here to tell you right now, those of us that grew up maybe with insufficient parenting, that watching movies like that, watching the rated R movies at like 9 years old, we are here. I'm a voice for the voiceless, okay? I'm going to get my Kyrie on. It's a Christmas. It's a Christmas.
Let's go. I'm here for it. Jabbar, I'm gonna watch it now. I rock with you. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna give you a report back, and I'll do it before Christmas. So how about that?
I appreciate it. Have some milk and cookies while you're
brother lactose intolerant these days. Gotta be we on the soy milk and whatnot.
This good version of it. Soy milk, cashew milk, whatever. Because we all are. So yeah. All right, let's circle the room. Alan, let me get your 3 holiday or Christmas movies.
Home Alone, because who doesn't love Home Alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Elf is the funniest Christmas movie that's ever been made. Mm-hmm. And I'm a sucker for a good Nancy Meyers movie, right? So The Holiday is such an easy choice for me. Who doesn't love Kate Winslet and Cameron Diaz, right? So
I'm not mad at it. Those movies are kind of like upgraded, Lifetime movies, but honestly, they make quality stuff too.
They're Christmas movies.
There you go.
Literally what they are.
No wives were abused in them, so it couldn't be a Lifetime film.
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, like whatever the channel is that makes those Christmas movies, that's the wheel. That's the one. No, I'm not mad at any of those. Although I'm going to admit, I'm not disputing it. Our guy that used to be a Laker, now he's with the Pelicans, and he's Lost in
Lonzo,
translation.
B.I.
Josh Hart. No, Josh Hart.
Josh Hart. Oh, okay.
He ruffled some feathers on Twitter the other day or yesterday, I think it was, saying that Home Alone. What I will say is Home Alone, and I said this on Twitter. Home Alone is an origin story for a serial killer. Kevin is a serial killer. He does not wind up being a good person. He winds up being a killer because all he had to do was either call the cops or run to a neighbor. And instead he said, nope, let's fuck these dudes up. And excuse my language, but that's what he did. That's what he did. Pretty evil. Pretty evil. All right, Ricky. Excuse me. No, actually, let's go to Denton. Let me get your 3 movies.
I do rock with Home Alone. I used to look like the kid when I was younger, so I got those comparisons a lot. I love Charlie Brown. I'm like a sucker for cartoons, so I love Charlie Brown.
That's a good pick, man.
And I love the Grinch, like the OG Grinch. We'd watch it as a family every single year. So I love the OG. The Jim Carrey thing is funny for like the meme, but I love the Grinch, and then Elf, of course. You can't go wrong with Elf.
So I love all of those, and I'm going to keep it real with you. You're in my wheelhouse now because I came up watching the Charlie Brown Christmas.
Right.
I watched the original Grinch. Like that's the Grinch that I know. So when people reference it, I'm like, oh yeah, Jim Carrey did do one as well, even though that's like 20 years old now. So no, I'm 100% on it. Like while I do, and I think I even had had a conversation about this the other day as well. But while I don't actively seek out the Charlie Brown one, if I catch it on, I watch it every single time.
What? Every time.
Every time. That and A Christmas Story. For whatever reason, as soon as I see Fragile, that's it, man. It's a cheesy movie, but like to Alan's point, it's a Christmas movie. So, Rick, close out this topic.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all on the same accord with Elf. Like, I can't get over that. I dated a girl who was literally like kind of obnoxiously obsessed with that movie. And the Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Just like ingrained in my brain now. So, but I got 2 that weren't brought up. Right, the first one, probably the only Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that I really care about, to be honest with you, which is Jingle All the Way.
Yes,
him and Sinbad. They did their thing. Turbo Man, that was a great toy. They should have just released. I don't even know if they released it for real. They should have. All the great, when they get on the phone call, the rest in peace, I'm sure the police officer, right? Yeah, he did his thing. They get on, like, there's just so many great little adult humor that apparently I caught as a kid. I was like, I don't know how much this is for me, but I'm rocking with this. And, they set it up perfectly, man. Who doesn't love flying fathers saving the day for their son? So I had to throw in Jingle All the Way. That was a heater. And then it's not my favorite out of the trilogy, but I enjoy me some Friday After Next.
Yes,
I enjoy you saving the hood for Christmas. Who don't enjoy saving the hood for Christmas, man? You got. I will never just. I aspire to be the Uncle Elroy. Like I'm married now.
Elroy.
But, everything, but your new step auntie, right? Who a little bit freaky in the home, right? But I'm everything about Uncle Elroy. The big ass TV, the big ass speakers in the crib. Just hey, you gonna bring that shit in here.
You gonna have to pass.
But just everything, the holy moly donut shop, and then at the end of the day, any good Christmas movies about saving the day and enjoying the party at the very end, and that's exactly what he did. And that woman was fine, and I knew that as a shorty too. That main the leading lady in that movie. So Auntie was fine too. I ain't gonna lie about that, but that might be my start of my thick woman addiction, but. Any of it.
Hey, listen, it wasn't the start of mine, but it continued mine. I can tell you that.
You know what I'm saying? That sheet of print, it was a whole movie for a minute, baby. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Mine, I'm going to throw them out there. Obviously, Die Hard, y'all know that. Trading Places would be my second one. A lot of people, like, again, I know you guys might not have even seen that one. I'm not going to be disrespected if you haven't seen Trading Places, but if you haven't, I recommend it. It's one of Eddie's really good, good early. And in Bad Santa, look, I'm going to tell you right now, that is a movie that I have probably watched like 15 times. And I mean, start to finish 15 times. That's my type of humor. That's my look. First of all, Billy Bob at his best. You've got I was gonna say Jack Ritter. Oh my goodness, what is the late actor? Oh my goodness. He played in Three's Company, and you guys aren't gonna know that reference either. God dog it. Well. There's somebody that's going to ultimately watch this and say, I can't believe he couldn't remember that guy. But R.I.P. Bernie Mac, R.I.P. a lot of folks. That's a fantastic experience. And I actually have a couple honorable mentions in there. Another one that people probably wouldn't traditionally see as a Christmas movie, but it is. My honorable mentions go to Lethal Weapon. You guessed it, it's a Christmas movie. And Scrooge. Have either of you seen either of those two?
No, of course.
I've seen Lethal Weapon. I've seen a little bit of Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
All right, that's fair.
No.
All right, let's. Yeah, I'm not even going to ask you, Rick. That's fine. I'm gonna start sending you like the streams of these movies. Like,
please just send me a list, man. I'm gonna be
shitty 80s action flick that I love for no reason other than it just reminds me of my. All right,
with Ricky, just assume that he hasn't watched it. It makes it a lot easier in life.
This is true.
As one of his good friends now, it just makes everything easier now.
That's realistic. All right. Let's go ahead and bring in the final topic. It's treats. It's the holiday season. There's a theme to this show. So for obvious reasons, Alen, why don't you lead us off? Because I was intrigued by some of yours. What are your top holiday treats?
In England, you can only get Reese's Pieces during Christmas, and it pisses me off because they're incredible. What? Yeah. What? I don't know why. The rest of the year you can get them. No. The rest of the year you can get them, but you have to pay like an
exorbitant amount.
Like $20 for like a pound or something stupid. Like honestly, we're talking like ridiculous amounts. So,
was there a reason? Like
I don't know. It's just always in the stores during Christmas, so I buy it then.
Yeah, they put limitations to you. That was the one that intrigued me because I was like, why does he like Reese's Pieces instead of Reese's peanut butter cups? Like, is it one or the other, or is it both?
The peanut butter cups I get year round. No, I get them year round. So the pieces are lit. Like, all right, the pieces are awesome. When you're on the go, instead of eating a big cup, you got the little pieces. It's way easier.
Listen, as the resident fat man on this panel, I'm gonna tell you, I can eat either one of them on the go, but I understand. I understand the easiness of that. All right, what are some of your other ones?
So I'll say the one that probably you guys have never heard of, which is a strawberry trifle, right? It's very, very English. Mm-hmm. It's very, very English.
Sounds like a wrestling move.
So basically what it is at the bottom you've got jelly, which is what you guys call Jell-O, right?
Oh, okay.
God, this is a swift turn right at the bat.
So you got Jell-O on the bottom.
Usually of strawberry nature, right? You can mix it up. You can use raspberry, orange, whatever your boat is. I recommend strawberry.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you're feeling fruity, you put in a little bit of real strawberry pieces in there as well. Oh. It's fire either way. Then you have like a biscuit layer. Do you guys know what Jaffa cakes are?
No.
So they're like
you just said die hard to Ricky. Sorry, go ahead.
Fair enough. They're like, so when I say biscuits aren't a real thing in America. You guys just call everything cookies.
Okay.
Oh no, we have biscuits too. Trust me.
Switching it up, dog. I don't know what's on biscuits, this thing anymore.
Wait.
Do we have Jell-O and cookies right now? Is that the American version?
Let me explain. There's a path. Or you can put a little like sponge layer there. Like either or, like sponge cake layer, not an actual sponge. Jabari.
Okay, got it.
Not an actual sponge. Don't worry.
Yeah, I was like,
we're not that weird. Then, listen, it's the only English thing I like to eat, so it must be good, right? From there, you have vanilla custard on top of it.
Okay.
And then on top of it, you got a big ass bunch of whipped cream.
Okay.
It's like a layered cake.
Yeah, no, we know we have this version. I don't know what to call it, but it's like just
it's phenomenal though.
It's one of those things where like it sounds weird, but I would probably smash that. I'm gonna be honest. I'll be honest about it. Everything you just said, like while I look, I never go like reaching for Jell-O. It's fine. Everything else, I was like, yeah, I'll mess that up. So I'm not mad.
Here's an incredibly posh
version
of
it.
We know that.
I'll destroy that.
When you said the vanilla wafers going around it, yeah.
Okay. Denton, what about you?
So my family, they love like those peanut butter blossom things. You put the Hershey Kiss in the middle of a peanut butter cookie. Those things, we've been doing those since forever. I love apple pie. I don't know if apple pie is considered a Christmas dessert. I don't really care.
It can be.
I love apple pie. Give me apple pie whenever, and I'm down with that. And then, like, recently, we just discovered this new cookie. I went to like a bakery shop locally here, and I bought it back, and then my family raved over it. It's just a simple chocolate cookie with like powdered sugar on it. But like, so we freeze cookies in my family. Like, we bake them early, freeze them, bring them back out, freeze them, bring them back out, kind of deal. And I hate hard cookies. Like, it has to be chewy. It has to be chewy for me. And we can take this chocolate crinkle cookie out, let it defrost, and it has like the same texture and the chewiness of when you just bake it. So I love them. They're like new to us, and I can't stop eating the damn things. I'm going to gain like 10, 15 pounds just off of these, but it's worth it because they slap.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. My mouth might have been watering a little bit as you were describing those, so I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Rick, close the topic out.
Yeah, I might be a little bit more on the boring side because desserts, me and desserts just aren't too close of friends. But sugar cookies, I love. I am just a whore for sugar cookies around the holidays, man. Especially the gooier, like, dog. I don't even care. Put them boys in the oven for 6 minutes. Give me.
Yeah.
I don't care 12. If it's dripping.
Yeah, okay.
I just, everything's working right there. And I think, a deviation of the sugar cookie is the funfetti cookie. So, any of the, the green and red funfetti sprinkle cookies, I'm here for, right? Now, you're going to catch my hand going into the cookie jar a few times throughout the night for those. But after that, my grandma used to make an amazing lemon cake, man. And I know, and we don't even have to talk about nutritional facts right now. We're talking about celebration.
No,
I just know it is not. We just eat. It was the. It was the. I know people don't like this word. It was the most moist cake I have ever eaten, still to this day. And I appreciate her. God rest her soul. So now, admittedly. My auntie might listen to this show. She makes a horrible version of it, which I would not eat.
No disrespect, auntie.
No disrespect. I love her to death.
We're not blaming you, auntie. It's
all the other day. I got to tell somebody, man, because she keeps making it too, and she knows I liked it. But I'm like, I don't like yours, and like she'll like make me a whole one and send it home. I'm like,
and send it to you. Oh no, that's the worst.
All right. It's going in the freezer till next holiday. So I'm a big lemon squares person now. If somebody's making some lemon squares, I'll get down on that. Especially you got some like graham cracker, some type of cookie at the bottom. I'm in. So lemon and sugar cookies. That's where you'll find me during the holidays, getting thickums.
Well, let me tell you.
Break it down.
Cakes and pies, oh my! Like that, basically cakes and pies. So like Denton, when you said like is apple pie, a Christmas pie? You're damn right it is. If you eat it on Christmas, it's a Christmas pie. That's not
facts.
And Ricky, when you said lemon cake, listen, lemon cake, if it's good, I would probably choose that over just about everything. Like especially if it's got some tartness to it. Make you go like after you eat it. Oh yeah, let me get that. Pound cake. I miss my Big Mama 7.
What is a pound cake?
Pound cake pretty much has a pound of butter.
Okay.
It's a cake with a pound of butter and all the sugar you could ask for. It's a rich, sweet,
sweet.
Delicious.
If you get it right. If not, it just tastes like bad cookie bread cake.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, pound cake, lemon cake, 7-Up cake. I miss my Big Mama 7-Up cake. She used to destroy it. My grandfather on my dad's side. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have tried to recreate these, and I am like Ricky's aunt. No disrespect to Ricky's aunt. I have tried to recreate his fried peach pies. And if I could, look, he's been gone for a long time. It might have been aided by these fried peach pies. I'm just gonna be straight up. Like these are some of the greatest things of all time. And he fried, and he wasn't using butter. He was opening up the Crisco tin.
Oh, I was going to say somebody using the original,
the originator, no greater. So yeah, pretty much anything cakes and pies that's my go. I really do appreciate each of you guys for bearing with me and humoring me with all of these ridiculous questions. We're gonna circle the room one more again. Denton, where can the people find all of your incredible content and find you?
You can hit me up on Twitter at the Denton Day. Not nice and simple. You see it on the screen there. My program is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. SportsMapRadio.com. Jabari, a frequent guest. He's always good enough to bless us and talk some NBA with us. A whole lot of fun to be had over there, and really just talking shit for 3 hours. My job is literally just to talk shit for 3 hours, and it's the best job in the world.
And I'm gonna, I'm not even doing this because he's on the show. Folks that know me know if he sucked, I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like, yeah, thanks a lot, Denton. His show is fantastic. I strongly recommend you guys checking it out. I strongly recommend it. He's saying he's just talking shit. No, he's bringing it on a regular basis. Thank you very much, Denton. I appreciate you joining.
Yes, sir.
Alen, where can the people find you? Where might the people be able to find all of your incredible content?
Everywhere but like sleeping at a normal time. At Alen Ramic 03 on Twitter. Like you mentioned, I am a co-host of an MCU show in the 19 Media Group called Blipton. New 2 episodes dropped on Tuesday. One where me and Kwam dissect episodes 1 and 2, and then the third episode, the second episode where we talk the third episode, and we have our friend Naz on, which is always an experience.
Entertaining, to say the least.
He's a character. I love him to death. It always makes for an interesting podcast. And then the other podcast that I have on the 19 Media Group at the moment is the Lakers Side Chats, which is getting revamped, which I'm very, very excited about. It's becoming it's becoming more NBA based, which I'm incredibly eager to have done. Getting a co-host who isn't a co-host but is a co-host. Okay. I'll explain in the inaugural episode tomorrow. She's on a 10-day contract, basically.
Okay. Does she know this?
Yeah, she does.
Hey, honestly, careers can be made off of 10 days, so I'm not mad at that.
You know what I'm saying? She could be the next Cameron Payne.
There you go. Out the league, and then shooting the cricket jumper, for decent money.
Oh,
but as always, thank you so much, Jabari. I really appreciate
thank you, truly. Rick, beyond going to Creative Eye Multimedia, let me get it right. Beyond going to your website, which I will ask you to give, where can the folks find you?
Yeah, no, appreciate it, Jay. I mean, the Laker propaganda network is it's as strong as ever these days. So you can find me on Twitter at Mr. Ricky Spanish, but more importantly, make sure you're following Late Night Lakers on Twitter and all social media platforms. We got a lot of great things cooking: articles, news, rumors, highlight, merchandise. So go ahead and check it out. And yeah, obviously, if you want to check out all of the great work that, not only myself, but all of the great partners that I have with Creative Eye Multimedia, it's a house for other shows that, we help out with. Alen and I have done some work together. Jabari and I have done some work together. So I'm always here to help out other brands, continue to do what they do. And that's, provide the great content to the masses. So again, appreciate you having me on, brother.
Without a doubt. And again, I want everybody that's watching or eventually listening, make sure you follow these gentlemen. Make sure you go to their shows, listen to their shows, rate and review their shows. Don't be a punk. Don't just take the free content. Show them some love. Give them a 5-star. I'm not going to jack Bomani's list. I'm not going to jack his line on this, but you're kind of a punk if you don't give him a 5-star review. So make sure you do that. For Mr. Ricky Spanish, for Denton Day, thank you for joining the Jab Step for 19 Media.